Hello collective, welcome to the channel. It is August 19th, 2025. And we're going to check in with Spirit, get you a message. Collective energy, please, Spirit, collective energy. Storyline for the collective, please. Storyline for the collective. In the central energy, we've got the Ten of Cups, divine love. In the challenge position, we've got the Temperance angel, finding meaning. In the subconscious, we have the Sun, or rebirth. In the recent past, we've got a new beginning. Intentions and expectations. The Five of Swords in the reverse. Somebody has failed. They're having remorse, revenge remorse. Now they want to make up. They want to kiss and make up. In the near future, Two of Cups. The lens it's being looked through. Seven of Pentacles. In the environment, somebody's trying to make a love offer. Hopes and fears. Chariot, you are leaving. Somebody wants to stop you. Get on board that chariot. And the outgoing energy is the Ace of Wands. New opportunity. On the bottom of the deck, we've got somebody, because you got this new opportunity here, this new beginning. Somebody else is disappointed. They're in a nightmare. Their life is in a tower. Queen of Wands is determined here. The foundation is solid. The boundaries are firm. The foundation is protected. And this is a completion of the cycle for this trickery and stuff. We've got the love of divine masculine and the truth of divine feminine, bringing about an ending here. It's over. End of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle on the foundation, victory, and public recognition. Somebody's trying to defend their beliefs regarding sacrifice. The wheel is turning on this devil. These nefarious ones, they see that this is here, this beautiful new beginning. Ten of Cups, Temperance, Two of Cups, coming into the fruits of your labor, your reward. They're very upset. They brought up the subject of Lilith and how since the very beginning, the very first wife apparently They said she left the garden. I say they red rummed her and then replaced her. They flipped her and then copycatted her, which is a thing that they do still to this day. They did it to the very first wife. So the whole time, centuries, this has been their practice. And we're turning the wheel on this. You're coming into 10 of Cups unions that are very balanced and full of light. And they're very upset. So they brought up Lilith, and then they brought up the idea that to love a man is to die, to be killed by a man. Because in their world, that's what marriages are. They're a contract for the end of your life so that the masculine can obtain some kind of a wealth and then run around like he's successful, right? So that's what it's been, and they want to drive home the idea that that's what it will always be. So there's this kind of energy out there that is sad. It's very sad. It's very disappointed, I should say. But we do have a 10 of Cups union here, divine love, dream come true, and a celebration. Temperance energy, so that could be the challenge, to remain balanced in this, to have patience regarding the past, to bring balance, to find meaning out of what had occurred in the past. What does they call it? They call it turning pain into purpose. Purpose into power. Take it as it resonates. You got the sun here, so there is a rebirth for this divine love. And the antagonists are very upset about it. They're very upset about it. Look, that just kind of fell out. So look. So we got the sun and the star are releasing the baggage and moving on. And there are entities out there who are very heavy in the energetics right now. It's well, they have been a great disappointment, and they kind of want the divine feminine to carry that energy into this new cycle. They want this divine feminine and the divine masculine to carry the energy of extreme disappointment that started way back in the beginning, thousands of years ago. It's kind of what the energy is right now. They're trying to push it in to this new cycle. So in the recent past, you do have the Fool here. So there is a new beginning. And judgment. Judgment is called. Judgment is being called. It could be, and there's an end of the trickery here. So there is the 5 of Swords in the reverse. There's judgment has been called. You got a new beginning. You called the judgment on that. And now everybody who is hurting you wants to reconcile. You know, they want some more chances to get it right, get their brutality right. They want to reconcile with you because you're an earth angel. And the thing is that their freaking agenda of obtaining the merchandise of the earth angels through brutality and betrayal and vicious behaviors under the umbrella of proper words of love, you know, and lust, utilized as a communication of partnership. Whatever. So you got the 2 of Cups here. That's a unified love. And we've got the 10 of Wands in the reversed. So there could be a release of the burden here. This connection. You're laying down this freaking burden. Or maybe you are burned out from dealing with all of this. Delegation, sharing the load. 7 of Pentacles is a lens that's being looked through. So there is your perseverance, and then we've got restriction. So your diligence, you've worked very hard on what? persevering through some sort of project. Somebody's having negative thoughts. You persevered through restriction. Somebody's feeling like a victim because you're coming into your reward. Page of Cups is here, wanting to make a love offer, but you've got the King of Swords right here on his butt. And we've got the Chariot here. They could be going away. The Emperor too. So the Emperor has a victory. There's a victory for the Emperor. He's got this King of Swords right here looking at this Page of Cups. We got the Ace of Wands. New opportunities for the Queen of Cups. It's a new beginning. Lots of potential beginnings for the love of Divine Feminine. There's been a lot of growth. We got somebody's at a crossroads, and they're in a tower because King of Cups has a new beginning here. He's working hard for this foundation. There's a Knight of Cups and a Knight of Swords. Could be actively defending love for this Empress here. Take it as it resonates. Whoever was doing trickery, there's a sacrifice and a Five of Pentacles. So they've lost everything and they're in a nightmare. They're in this freaking nightmare. Because the King of Wands is overcoming challenges and he's walking with the Most High God. He's walking with Source. Somebody, it could be that whoever was abusing you and bullying you and trying to steal your Ten of Pentacles here is being laid to rest because of your courage in telling the truth about your story here. This brings a completion of that cycle. There's death here. There's research. There's a light being shined by the sun, research, and there's death. This is over. It's freaking over. This illusion is over. You're coming into your life of luxury, and these people who were bothering you are getting divorced out of your energy. They want to reconcile, but man, they've spent centuries letting you know exactly what they felt about you, and I mean, who would want to reconcile with that? And the thing about this new cycle is it's like the, the infinity. So it's forever, right? It's going to last and last and last. So there's no real hurry, There's opportunity to observe the new flow of things and to take your time formulating a new perception regarding things, if that's what you want to do. I mean, it's not like you have to jump right in and get busy with anything. There's a lot of light here, though. Balance, perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. Somebody's not having perfect harmony, though. Oh, they're upset. And that's what the energy is. It's this thing right here. They want to reconcile with this temperance angel because they're all messed up in the head. They're like, crap. They're like, yeah, but remember what, remember this, remember that. And they want Divine Feminine to remember what they did and to apply it to this new situation. There's delegation. You don't have to carry the whole burden now. There's two of you. So there's a Ten of Cups, blissful relationship and a celebration within the community among people who possess gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. So there's a whole big community here that's very talented, yep, and they're successful. They're successful in bringing about balance and harmony, utilizing their special gifts as a collective, working together without bias, without prejudice, and they're coming up with a plan that you can trust, because it's connected to the inner voice, the Most High Divine. Somebody's worried. They gotta give it up. They gotta give it up, because the truth is out. The truth is out. It's in the mind, like what they've done here. Temperance angel in the challenge position regarding our temperance energy regarding the past. So it could be the challenge is to bring balance to the history of things, to restore balance. Balance and joy. We got envy. So yeah, there's being sensible regarding the history of envy. Finding meaning, finding purpose, being patient, bringing balance to this history of envy, which means, you know, you can't tell a fish that it should fly like an eagle and then let it live its whole life experiencing lack and insufficiency according to their own idea about self, because it can't freaking fly. And that's ridiculous. Everybody needs to come up with a familiarity around their own soul song, you know, what the divine planted in them. It's special, it's unique, and everybody has it. But, you know, nobody was really taught how to find it, you know. Those of us who found it, I think were probably led into it by an actual pull. But there's things, you know, some people sing, some people do pottery, some people draw, you know, paint, all kinds of different arts and creative things, you know. Some people build things with wood, they pour cement, they get really crafty. Everybody has a special creator skill inside of them. So I think the challenge is to find meaning, to bring a sense of purpose to the history of this envy. You know, and it starts very young. Look inside. What do you find? So the sun is here in a rebirth, shining brightly. There's a star here, which is a rejuvenator, a healer, a supercharger, and they're releasing that baggage and they're moving on. And we've got doubt here, and it could be that they're leaving doubt behind. They don't need to know all the answers. They move forward anyway. They're leaving doubt behind. They're releasing the baggage. They know that's what it is, and doubt is part of it. Yeah, somebody, or maybe somebody is in doubt because they have failed here and they're under judgment. They failed to blame the empath who is peaceful and all and serving higher relationships. That's wild. So yeah, so there's doubt, releasing doubt. Somebody is in doubt because they failed and they're under judgment. The sun and the star are leaving it behind. They're making a change. Yeah, somebody's in doubt. They failed. They're under judgment for blaming people, for trying to blame the empath. Wow. So there's judgment. We got to judge. We got a new beginning here with the Fool card and judgment again. Judgment. It looks like judgment is the thing. Temperance angels out here twice. Humor. Focusing on the lighter side of life. Judgment is in. Mercy. Mercy. Looking at the lighter side of life. You're in your purpose here and you're free. You're free from guilt. Somebody's not, though. They want to make amends with the earth angel, with the temperance angel. they have to surrender their need to control. It's like, it's done, man. They got to cut their losses. They got to surrender to the earth angel. Two of Cups is here, a marriage connection. It looks like they're sharing the burden. It says doing it all, carrying the burden. So, and there's delegation. So it's like now there's a partner, there's a duo. So what was a heavy burden for the temperance angel, now we got two temperance angels out here, a sun and a star in union here with their new beginning. And it's like it's not the completion of a 10 of Wands. It is in the reverse. There's a lot of responsibility here. It could be that there's a delegation, some kind of a release of a burden. Like they're divvying up stuff, maybe. What do we got here? Relationships that serve the higher good. So the Two of Cups, relationship that serves the higher good. We've got a release of a 10 of Wands burden. And delegation. So there won't be like a few suns or stars carrying the whole shebang. You got a sun and a star, but there says relationships. So it's like we're moving into that equal reciprocity thing, where the community of specially gifted people who actually love and care for one another and themselves get together, and then they delegate the burden so that all of them have a role to play. And as suns and stars, they're going to take it very seriously. This is serving the higher good. People who serve the higher good. Seven of Pentacles here. So there are rewards, or you've been working real hard. You've been persevering even though there was some sort of a restriction, or there's somebody else being restricted. Let's see, what's this? Health in the reverse. You persevered through restrictions and bad health. You worked real hard. You persevered through restriction and bad health. We got a Page of Cups here, wanting new love, but the King of Swords is right there. Like, okay, let me quiz you. We're going to have a meeting. I want to find out, what is your purpose? What are your ideals? What are your dreams? What do you intend to do here? He knows the truth. He has clarity about the truth. He's very disciplined with that. So there's a change here. There's a change. So it's not just, hey, I find you attractive and I want to get it on. You know, it's like, hey, I'm a young fella here and I got some creative ideas, you know, I like a partner. And it's like the King of Swords is here now, and he's going to make sure that that's actually what it is. Like, no more of these devil codependent, I'm going to suck the life out of you with my little hook and tag mechanism here. We got a Chariot here, a victory and control by the Emperor here. He's what, offering discipline, or he's setting up a new structure that is full of people who are grateful and thankful. Perhaps he is grateful and thankful. Take it as it resonates. Grateful, thankful, courageous suns and stars will be part of this foundation. When they come to be on this foundation, there needs to be a plan, because this needs to serve the higher good of the community. You don't just get to come in and then, you know, sit back while somebody brings you 3 days of 5-course meals, you know, many throughout the day. And I've seen videos like that where the woman is in the kitchen for like literally 3 days straight cooking food for like 5 fellas who are entertaining themselves, you know. How rude, right? Anyway, yeah, there's no more of that stuff. It's just not going to be like that. We've got a passionate new beginning and wonderful opportunities for the Queen of Cups. She's balanced. She's a temperance angel. She's in this temperance angel. Oh, look at that. Freedom. Freedom. The divine feminine is freed. from this malarkey. This is the end of their relationship with batteries. Her womb and the energy, the life force vitality that flows through her womb every month, renewed and restored and ready for another opportunity of bringing forth a life, right? She's free. They can't siphon her battery, her life-giving womb space anymore. They have to surrender their need to control it. The merchandise of the earth angel, creatress, mother, divine. Oops, already did that. And they don't know what to do about it. They don't know what to do because you persevered all the mental mess with the truth. Even when the whole world was lying and feeding lies about the divine feminine into the collective consciousness, she embodied the truth. Even when the whole world was lying, she was speaking the truth. It's like, so when God, takes a look, and it's real tricky because these ones are very, very good at driving thoughts through the mental body. And if you're not aware of it, you could most likely accept them as your own thoughts, because usually it's tied to some sort of a trigger or some sort of wounding or betrayal of the past. Like the Lilith story, first mother to be betrayed, kicked out of the garden by her own God-given husband. That's just freaking whacked. Are you kidding me? Way back in the beginning? What the hell is wrong with that man? Somebody's in regret because they've got to accept the things they cannot change. They're guilty of messing around with your purpose and your happiness. But you were very courageous in the face of these prideful people, and you were alone. You did it alone. You were alone. The whole world was lying, trying to lie to you about yourself. You probably had to cut out negative self-talk and reroute and recreate the highways of the mind, choosing exactly what thoughts got to run through that mechanism and what thoughts did not get to run through that mechanism. I used to be, when I first started, I was listening to something, I don't know if it was Dr. Joe Dispenza or somebody else, but they were like, you need to be in control of your emotions and not be controlled by them. Because there's a whole lot of invisible buttons that get pushed all the time by very knowledgeable people. They're in grief here. They're in absolute grief. Maybe they have to leave you alone. You're using all of your limitless abundance here, and you're in service to people, and it's like now they want forgiveness. They want to be your friend, but you're denying them because they bring adversity. They bring adversity to your perfect state of harmony, and you're done. It's like, I want a vacation. I just don't want to mess with you people. Look, you're empathic, you're very disciplined, you're very peaceful, and all that negative energy is going to be released, and everything in divine order. We got death here, and you can trust it because it's guided by the inner voice. It's like, whatever this is, you know that it's happening, and it's happening divinely. These people are in fear, and they're very worried because love has grown and expanded in the consciousness. So it's like expanding like globally, like everybody's starting to come online, think more in line of this loving thought form. It's like the darkness has lifted off the oppression of this woe is me, I'm so fat, nobody loves me, I'm always alone, this kind of stuff. Everybody's like, hey, you know what, look, I got flowers, they're so beautiful, the sun is out, it's warm, it's peaceful here, nobody's messing with me. Seriously. And I really appreciate Spirit Divine for guiding me to learn how to read these cards, I think over a year ago, because when I'm feeling a little bit icky, like the energy that I'm feeling here, this right here, They got to surrender their need to control this temperance energy. They want to reconnect, and it's like they want divine feminines and masculines to believe that it's always going to be like that, you know? It's been this way forever, for centuries, you know, but things are changing. Stubborn. Dreams come true, divine love, celebration within the community. There's 3 people here. It could be your team. It could be the entirety of the community. Those who have gifts that benefit themselves, and others are using them successfully. They know there's no greater goal than to love, and somebody doesn't want to hear about it. They're getting messed up in the head, is what they're doing. They're over there. They got to surrender their need to control the merchandise of the earth angels, sun and star. Yeah, it's stopping. They don't want to hear it. They're like, no, they don't want to hear it. So they got to get confined, you know? They got to get confined. They just won't stop. They won't stop. They're going to be stopped. They're going to be confined. So the stubborn, arrogant ones are being stopped, and they're losing their freedom here. And you're calm, and you're okay, you're stable. Temperance angel, temperance energy, the challenge is to bring temperance energy to find meaning, to find purpose regarding past envy. So, you know, that happened, you know. Some people were really good, you know. The fish was looking at the eagle fly, and everybody told the fish it needed to take the same test, and it kept failing. It's like, damn it, I want to be the damn bird, right? So it goes out and it does whatever shady things it needs to do to step into those wings, you know. And it just doesn't happen like that. Not for real. So everybody has their own purpose, you know? And the fish, I mean, whatever, however you want to use the analogy or the allegory, yeah. So everybody needs to find their purpose. They got to find meaning in life. It could be that because you are bringing balance to the past, the envious ones are frightened. It could be that envy is afraid, because you're leveling stuff out. Their stubborn and arrogant ways are being stopped. They're going to lose their freedom. The sun and the star are here, leaving behind that baggage. They're in doubt. They have failed. They're under judgment. They have failed to blame the sun and the star for their crap, these indulgent people. And they're really upset. They're frightened. Because the sun and the star are together there. Relationships, plural, that serve the higher good. Yeah, so again, these 2 cards came out. You are okay and you're stable. But somebody isn't. I can tell you that energy of betrayal, it's like the way they were driving that thought into the mental body, like this depression, right? That it's been going on and on and on, and they're like pushing in the idea that it will always be this way. It's going to go on and on and on, and it very well might. But I can tell you that at this time, the players are changing. There is potential for change, and it really all depends on how badly people want it. We got a new beginning here. You're choosing to focus on the lighter side of life. Judgment is occurring. What we got here? You're not overloaded. So you're lighthearted. Maybe you've received some sort of mercy. You've reached your goals. You're entering a new phase where you're focused on the lighter. You've triumphed. You've triumphed. You've triumphed over illness, and these third parties fell into their own trap. They're sick about it. There's evidence of what they have done to this high moral, valuable person here. There is evidence that this person is high value. So they're getting separated. They're getting separated from the savings of eternal love. Eternal love has been saved, and they're out. They're in the Five of Swords reversed energy. There is a desire to reconcile with the temperance angel. They have to release their need to control. It's like, no, they want to surrender to the temperance angel. They want to get back in that energy. Justice is being served. Judgment has been called. You have triumphed here. Temperance angel. There's two of them out here, the sun and the star. They're there together in the Two of Cups, relationships that serve the higher good. There is a delegation of the burden throughout the community, so everybody's doing a little bit, holding up their end of the bargain, or whatever it is. It's like their little piece of the puzzle, their little square of the fabric of the tapestry that holds everything together, right? That everybody has their responsibility. There is a purpose here. It could be that there's finding purpose and restoring purpose to it's like that computer system, you know how they say restore or reset to the original values or whatever. It's like that, something like that might be going on. You're hitting the reset. So relationships that serve the higher good are coming together joyfully. Yeah. So there's a delegation of the heavy burden, and there is also a celebration and feasting together, enjoying time together. So you invested in yourself and you persevered through restrictions and bad health. And we got a curse. It could be that somebody invested in this kind of stuff. Oh, well, isn't that bad? It could be that whoever invested in binding and causing bad health are cursed. Somebody worked very, very hard to bind and bring bad health to people through cursing. It could be these indulgent people here. I don't know. We're going to have to get some more clarification. Oh, well, you persevered. Okay, so you worked real, real hard. You persevered through being restricted and people cursing you with bad health. You persevered. So yeah, you worked real hard and you persevered. There is a Page of Cups here, a dreamer of love, and he's being quizzed by the King of Swords. And there is a change here, and they're protesting it. He's like, no, you know what? There's qualifications. We gotta look at the mind. It could be inadequacy. Maybe they're protesting because they don't feel they're getting what they deserve. Maybe they're protesting because there's a change. You can't just walk up to some young filly and offer her a little cup of love and then, get your little worm out and hook and tag her and then claim the womb energy. You can't do that anymore, and they're protesting. There's a victory here for the Emperor, and there's some rules. There's rules. There's structure and there's rules. We've got gratitude, thankful and grateful. So he's got a victory here. He's the Emperor. He is working on behalf of gratitude and thankfulness, and somebody is frustrated here because they didn't win. They didn't win. So look, whoever was working real hard to bind and curse people with bad health, you persevered over that. And now they're in a natural disaster because they didn't gain anything. It's like the Emperor is here on behalf of those people who are grateful and thankful for life and for what we got going on and who want to actually come together and build something. Yeah, this is a bully. The bullies are in a natural disaster. They did not gain. The Emperor has a victory here. We got an Ace of Wands. There's powerful potentials for the love of the Queen of Cups. She is free, and she possesses the power and the free will. Free will. This is key to create her own happiness. She has lived and learned a lot throughout this process. The love of the mother knows a lot about what these previous ones thought about her. You know, the error and the destruction that can come from envy, you know, from those who fail to find their niche, you know, their expertise, and then work at it to be the best at it. They're frightened because they didn't live and learn, but she lived and learned. She's like, hey, I can pick up on this in a heartbeat now. They failed to blame her for their own nastiness. Nasty, nasty. Yeah, she loves herself, and she's getting a new family tree. The divine feminine, who is love, is getting a new family tree. Yep. She was being dominated, or somebody tried to dominate her for her reward. They were dreaming of it, fighting with her, and they still are. They want to, but they're being made blind and they're losing things. They want to compromise here, but you're too busy getting ready for your family. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm busy. They're in a nightmare because you're a sweetheart. You're coming together, planting your seeds together, and you're entering into your destiny. They're in a nightmare because you're working with people who actually care about family and sweet dreams. You know, the mind, they like being able to utilize this space without interference so that you can create good stuff. And people are furious because you are relaxed and you're promised a relaxation. After this, it's like these bullies are not going to mess with you. They're not going to create hell in your life. You're going to be able to chill out and just be quiet, and then listen to the song as it moves through your system, so that you can then bring it into the world. This is the promise. These mask wearers of the history are being rejected. It's like, no, you know, no. They were trying to bring death to high value, bright minds, bright shining suns and stars. And now they're what? That's what they're going to get. They vowed it. They vowed it. They committed to doing that. And now they're hesitating. Their whole friends network are hesitating over this strategy because eternal love has been saved. You've received mercy. God can see you very clearly. And these people are getting separated from the good moral human. Yep, because there's evidence of what these third-party enemies did, and they have fallen into a trap. They're so stressed out. This prideful coach, the person or people who taught them how to do this stuff, they're messed up and bound to their commitments. Everything that they tried to bind you to, they're bound to. They set the stage for their own damn self. And you've got trustworthy, honest, and really nice alliances. Look, they're your best friend, and there's an investment here. You're investing together in this community, relationships that serve the higher good. Those people who brought disturbances to the minds of the gift and to the life of the gift, you, temperance angels, suns and stars, now they want to apologize. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, but you got a miracle here. The schedule is here. You're ready to go. This blessing gets a new job. The blessing has a new something to do. And those who took bribes to try to rob you of it and cause accidents, they're having accidents. They're getting cast away, and they're sick. They're sick because they were doing magic. All their magic came back, and they're sick. While the marriage that you have always prayed for perhaps is here. Finally here. You've reached the pinnacle of that mountain. You're getting your dream come true. And I don't know, but this has been going on for thousands of years. So it could very well be that, you know, like many of the suns and the stars, you know, they've been having to travel like an impossible life path for over and over and over. You know, not remembering what the heck you went through the previous lifetime. So you couldn't build on anything. It's like you go through enough traumatic experiences, pretty soon your memory gets real short and you're just like in the moment all the time. And I suppose maybe that's part of the goal, you know, getting into this singularity moment. Take it as it resonates. I always feel better when I can sit down and tell the story. I'm hoping that it is helpful to you as well. So yeah, you're innocent. You're innocent. And so people are getting the message, it's over. They're having a misfortune and there's death. They could have been receiving a letter. They might have been informed, hey, your house burned down, or hey, somebody died in the house, or something happened. You were innocent. Stuff is happening. You're coming into a 10 of Cups union, a divine love. It is here. And there's celebration within the community who collaborated to this end. You've all got gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. You're successful. You know there's no greater goal than to love. And those arrogant, stubborn people are being stopped. They're being confined. They're going away. They're getting unfreedom. They're getting captive. They're getting taken captive. It's like they can't be out there. They're all up in their thoughts. They're thinking about this confinement, or maybe they're thinking about your confinement being stopped. You're free. You're free. Divine Feminine, you are free. And amazingly, you still have love in you. You still have the temperance energy in you. Your light, your sun, and your star are still blinging brightly. So the challenge is to bring purpose to the past, to find meaning, to find meaning. So what did you learn from it, and how can it be applied to this thing here? You know, how can we work together so that this doesn't get blown out of proportion like it has been, considering that this foundation, you know, everybody who survived all of this is going to think it's really important, right? And they're definitely able to carry their weight because they went through an impossibility over the centuries, man. And they got their wings. Yeah, those who are envious of you, they're frightened because you've got your wings. You're a freaking angel. Sun, star, temperance angel out here twice. You've got your wings. And they're real surprised. This servant priest is real surprised. You were not supposed to gain your wings. They're sick about it. This priest is sick about it. Oh, goodness. Oh, yes, he is, because you never gave up hope for faithful, loyal love, even though you may be old like me now. So the sun is here. All is well. There's a rebirth, inner peace, calm and stable, harmony. The star is here. Revitalization, rejuvenation. You're together here in this boat and you're leaving this burden behind. You're like saying bye. And they're in doubt because they failed to blame you for what they were doing. And they're under judgment about money, about what they've done for money. What they've done to their friends for money, or what they and their friends did for money. These prideful people need consolation. They're like, oh, but you got the Fool card here. You got a new beginning. You're looking at the lighter side of life. There's no overload for you. You have reached your goals. You have triumphed. The Judgment here, maybe you are a judge. Maybe you called the judgment. Maybe you did so successfully. Or maybe the judgment for you is that you have received forgiveness. You've been forgiven. Perhaps that is. You're going into an if that means anything to you. Or you just, the judgment is you get to continue on. You're being shown some kind of a mercy here. The Divine Feminine is being released. The load is coming off. It's being delegated throughout the community. Everybody's going to carry a little portion of the responsibility. It's not all going to fall on the feminine. You've got the Emperor here having a victory. You've got the King of Swords making sure that any of these new love offers or desires are going to be looked at carefully. People are protesting this change. It's like, no, you can't just go up to a little filly and then suck her in with your little gaslighting, love bombing scenario. It's going to be real. No games. Somebody wants to cut their losses. They want to make amends. They need to surrender their need to control the merchandise of this earth angel and the earth angel themselves, the energy, the life force vitality. Justice is being served here on a young woman or for a young woman. Take it as it resonates. She's innocent. It could be that there's justices being served on a young woman regarding a child. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. There's some kind of a surprise here. Two of Cups, union, marriage. There's a delegation, a redelegation of this heavy burden throughout the relationships that are here to serve the higher good. It could be that those who were indulging at other people's expense, I don't know now, because we got indulgence and gift. It's time for you to enjoy your own gifts. They've been siphoned from you and taken by copycats and stuff. Wild. So you worked real hard and persevered through the restrictions, the bad health curses. You did persevere through this challenge of this priest, South Node priest. You persevered over this South Node priest. He was there trying to bring misfortune to weddings, to family, man. Cursing them. And you persevered and you brought, look, faithful weddings that you hoped for. Yeah, they were cursing they were cursing the wedding of the stars and the suns, the temperance angels. They were cursing them with misfortune so they would never come together. Page of Cups is here offering new love. King of Swords is saying, hey, is that truthful, honest, and legitimate? They're protesting this change, this scholar. Live and learn, live and learn. Somebody's going to be looking at what your intentions are before they just let you come in and play on the foundation. This is a very serious scenario. It's not an F-fest, it's not a party zone, and it's not a freaking battleground. It's very, very serious. There is indulgence in the gifts. There is some good stuff going on, but not for the bully that wants to come in and do forbidden stuff to cause misfortune for others. There's a victory here for the Emperor, and people are grateful, thankful. The bully is at risk. They did not steal your gain. They did not steal your love. So we've got gratitude, thankfulness, and love. The bully could not bring natural disaster. They could not bring a conclusion to love. There's a new opportunity here. Lots of potential here with the Ace of Wands for the divine feminine. Who, with her loving cup, she is free and possesses the power and the will, the free will, to create her own happiness. She's getting a new family tree here. She loves herself everywhere she goes. Flowers bloom, lights sparkle, things happen. She's lived and learned a lot, and now she's going to be sharing that wealth. Somebody is in a freaking mental prison. Somebody's in a prison. She's free of this prison. This prison, it could be, some people say that this realm is a prison, and it could be that she came here for a reason, I don't know, to learn about what was going on here, and she's got her freedom from it. She's got her freedom from this prison. She's lived and learned all she needs to about this prison, and she did so with love. She did so with love. And she's getting a new family tree because she knows with that energy, the value. Somebody's surprised. This is over. They're in a mental prison. They're surprised it's over. Whoa, yeah. It's over for lover boy. It's over for lover boy. There's an old woman here who's melancholy about a letter that she's received. It's about lies. Perhaps they've received information regarding lies. They're waiting. They're just waiting. You're always freaking happy, and they're in despair over it in their head. They're like messed up. They're in despair in their head, and you're in happiness in your head. And everybody's talking about the Lord and what they're doing to this thief, this foe. They're all sighing. They're upset. They're upset. They're prideful people. They could have lost their spouse and need consolation regarding a journey, you know, a transition into the spiritual realm. It could be a soldier here. Enemy. Yeah. Soldier, enemy. So the wife is getting the house and the fortune here. She is it. Temperance, angel, sun or star. Triumph. The servant who is moving against is sick. They got to go see the doctor. We've got hope for a faithful marriage. A faithful and loyal marriage. Yeah, there's a merchant here. Oh, maybe there's a pleasure seeker here who owes the merchant or something. They're getting a message. Somebody's sick. Pleasure seeker is sick. They owe the merchant something. Getting a message. The sweetheart has been reunited. They cannot take the sweetheart. They can't trap her, keep her, nothing. She's free. She is free from that domination. This is over. They're surprised. They're in a mental prison. There's death. They're being stopped and confined. It could be a mental prison. They're in fright now. It could be that all of that mental disturbance, you know, that religious witchery, mental catastrophe, whatever you want to call it, racing thoughts, anxiety, depression. So it's off of you now, and you're going to get some good stuff. You're going to get some good stuff. It's going to, like your mental body, you're going to be able to just kick back and relax and tune in to what you are meant to tune into. Divine love is here for the community. They have special gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. They are successful. They know that there's no greater goal than to love. Those arrogant, stubborn ones are being stopped. They're all up in their thoughts and they're confined. It could be a mental prison. And we've got love. Your abundance is about to roll in. So in the challenge position, we've got being sensible, finding meaning to the history of this envious scenario. They're afraid because you've got your wings. You're an angel. You're happy. They could not trade their fright for your joy. You got your wings and you got your gifts. You're using them to find meaning about the history and then to bring that forward and to share it so that it doesn't happen again. It's very important for the health and well-being of the children to come. That they know how to manage themselves, how to get in touch with their inner divine, and how to be firm so that this doesn't happen again. You know, to find the value within themselves and the connection to source so that they're not tempted to take somebody's opportunity, you know, which requires them doing harm to somebody, you know. So the sun is here. There's a rebirth. There is inner peace. The star is here, stable and harmonious. Very okay. They're both in this boat and they're leaving it behind. Somebody's in doubt because they failed to put the blame on these ones. They're under judgment here about money. It could be a friend. Maybe they want to be friends. They're worried about survival because you've got a heart bond here. They're worried about your survival, the survival of your heart bond. They're worried. They're under judgment. They could not destroy your heart bond. They really want to destroy your faith in union. They do. They really want you to shut your heart down. Perspective. So, yeah, you have triumphed over this upside down perspective. They want to reconcile with the earth angel now. They need to surrender their need to control your merchandise. Justice is being served on behalf of young women and children. Justice is being served on behalf of young women and children. Of the suns and the stars. They're in regret. There is this connection. The suns and the stars are together in this connection. There are relationships with an S, so there's more than one pair. There is a delegation of the Ten of Wands burden here. These people with these gifts, it's like you're going to go be able to enjoy yourself. If you, all of you with these special, beautiful gifts here, you're going to make it easy work of it. You're all going to be able to go out and get your work done in a couple hours, and then you're going to be able to go have fun the rest of the day or do whatever. You persevered through restrictions and bad health curses. You persevered through misfortune that this South Node priest was being paid to provide service for. We got memory in the reverse. They could be losing their memory, or maybe you persevered through the misfortune of what? Having them steal your memories? Page of Cups is wanting to offer new love, but the King of Swords is here inspecting their purpose. They're protesting this change. And then we got a scholar at a distance. So there's a scholar at a distance protesting this change. You know, this scholar trained everybody to come up and be freaking passion project. Ooh, let's get it on, right? Well, no, we're not doing that anymore. Your love offer is going to be legitimate. You're going to have plans and you're going to want to do it. It's going to be like in there, yes, this is what I want to do. I am grateful, I am thankful, and I am loved. The Emperor has a victory here, and this is what he's standing for. The bullies that get these little gaslighting, love bombing unions, you know, bringing natural disaster to everybody, they did not get the gain. They're not able to bring a conclusion to love, to gratitude. But the bully is now at risk. They were not able to stop this. They did not get the fruits of your labor. The Emperor has victory here. He's looking at this very closely, and so is this King of Swords. He's like, you're not gonna, you know, these divine masculines, their reputations have been trashed, man. The way that they have been viewing women and treating children and disrespecting families and slacking in their responsibilities while telling the whole world what it is they should do. You know, they don't even go out and buy diapers for the children they create. I mean, there's just some stuff going on. And these true divine masculines are like, wait, we're done with that. You're going to come in here and we're going to have a talk. What is your purpose regarding this new love offer? They're sticking up for divine feminine. She has been through hell, and so have they. Their reputations just ran into the dirt, man. And all of the manipulations via chemicals and other things that have altered the chemicals in the bodies and caused some issues, they're done with it. So there is the Ace of Wands, new opportunity, new phase. This beautiful potential coming in for the Queen of Cups, who loves herself and she's emotionally stable. She's like, hey, I'm here. She's free. She's getting a new family tree. Somebody is in a mental prison over this living and learning. They're surprised. There's death here. This is over. They did not think that these angels were going to make it through. They were on the impassable life paths. They were not supposed to make it. They've been at this for centuries. They had it down pat. But God has other plans. God was saving the juice for you during this time. He's like, hey, remember those seeds I planted in you all that time ago? Activate, activate, activate. And these guys were like, whoa, that was not supposed to exist. I thought we got rid of all these ones. And it's like, yeah, well, you didn't know God, did you? Didn't even look for him. Didn't even want to know. We've got communication. Communication. So somebody's not getting the fruits of your labor. We've got communication. They could be getting the message. The bully might be embarrassed. They're at risk. They're thinking about survival. They did not get your gain. You got your freedom, and you got your freedom for a new soul connection here. Right there. Somebody's in a mental prison over you living and learning. Death is a surprise. It's over. And they're resisting. It's like this is the death throes. You know, it's like the death throes are here. They're resisting death, but it's here. They're surprised. It's like, whoa. And it's their turn to go, look, they're in upheaval. They're resisting. They're in upheaval, though. Everything's falling apart. I heard them say demolished or demolition or something like that. It's all coming down. You have grown and you're going to get to go play. Anybody curious trying to send stuff into your house is going to roll right off of you. The battle, the trickery that was going on has been observed in the territory, and it will be watched. There will be this burden, this 10 of Wands burden is going to be delegated to the entirety of those who will rely on the foundation and its healthy status. Yeah, anybody bringing risk to Mother Nature in the night are anticipated. Like, or they could be anticipating coming into this sacred space to feast again, to scavenge off of your balance. You've got insight into this. Your nest here, you've got the commitment to protection. So the golden nugget, right? There's the family of man. So like 4 beings in golden bodies came in like a few years back when I was at the other house. It's like, wow. They were like the sun. And then you got the white light bodies, the like white lightning. They're really incredible too. So anyway, your insight that you, as the golden nugget, you coming in there learning all this stuff, you know, about their methods, methodology. You divine feminines, you divine masculines, you temperance angels. So you lived and learned, and all of that stuff that you learned while in this cycle has brought about a surprise ending to this for these ones. And you're protected. These ones are being warned. These dominators are being warned, or maybe they were warned. They got exposed and now they're being released. They could have been warned that if they did this, this was going to happen. And I heard one of the masculines angry several weeks ago. You knew what was going to happen if they found out we were doing this? He was really mad. So yeah, somebody knew what was going to happen if this didn't work out like they thought, but they weren't telling these other people that. They were enlisting them and then giving them their tasks, but not telling them what would happen if they failed. I don't know that they took it too seriously. We've got, there is abundance now for this community. The ghosts are leaving. Those ghosts, the teamwork. It could be that there's a team here soaring, making them leave. The ghosts, they got to leave. They're afraid. They're afraid. They were negative influences. They're afraid of being alone. But you've got your freedom and you're going in a new direction here. It's like, you know what? We're going in a new direction. It's going to be different now. Those who are pulling up your seeds are getting displaced. They're getting removed from the land, the territory, and they're receiving wrath. They're receiving wrath for mimicking you with mirror magic and causing so much trouble for your life. God's wrath is upon them. And they're grieving. They're grieving about their routine, about what they've been doing. And they're making preparations here to distract. Or maybe they're grieving about their preparations to distract the anomaly. They're wishing they didn't do it. But it's too late. It's been centuries, man. And they didn't know God. They thought that God was never going to show up because it's been so long. I hope that this brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.